Out of law school, I went and worked for a tax and asset protection firm. And I would be flying every day of the week to a different business, telling the CEO why his business structure was wrong. You got to have a holding company. You got to do this. You got to do that. And once I started getting my paychecks, seeing how much I was making versus what they were billing me at, I was like, the math ain't math.
Yep.
I'm making six figures. When you start making six figures, you realize that's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think I need to go on my own. So I saved up 6 months of living expenses and I quit.
So what's some of your biggest lessons or losses you'll say?
Woo! Number one, there is no family in business. In business, you have to run it like a business because it's grimy out here in these business streets. We're making money. Okay? Life is good. But I kind of was in a toxic relationship. My husband was like a little bit abusive. He's kind of sleeping with employees and I find out and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna just move to the next subdivision because I don't want to do this anymore. He then tried to kill me by shooting at me at the dealership, which caused me to have to just pick up my things and move to Florida, but I'm still working the business remote. I was gone for 30 days. They took all the money out of our personal account, locked me out of our businesses in a 3-year, 6-figure legal battle because now my father-in-law, who's lived with me for 10, 11 years at the time, is on Social Security. I've taken care of him, buying a Range Rover. You know, we flying in first class on vacations. He all of a sudden says, the business is mine because my name is on the LLC.
All right, so welcome back to another episode of Motion and Success. Listen, guys, my name is Cody Brown, and I got my co-host with me today,
Ayo. And like I always say, bro, we back with another great episode. We got a really special guest today, flying all the way from Orlando. We got Miss Joi Hunt.
ESQ.
Hi.
ESQ, yep.
We got Miss Joi Hunt. So listen, guys, Miss Joi Hunt is definitely, she's going to share a very, very good story as far as, you know, her past 20 years in business, how she became successful from brick and mortar to online stores, you know, from brick and mortar stores to running an online business and really getting your business to the bank. You know, this is going to be one of them ones where you literally learn how to get yourself some motion and success. So, Joi, go ahead, introduce yourself, tell the people who you are, how you help them, how are you doing your due?
Okay, so my name is Joi. I'm your business bestie, and I'm going to help you get your business to the bank by knowing how to structure, fund, and market your business.
I mean, that's like the 4 pillars of growing a business.
Structure, fund, market.
Structure, fund, market. What was the last one?
To the bank.
To the bank. That's like the 4 pillars. Because when it comes to business, I was literally just doing a chat GPT yesterday. And it said, I asked chat GPT. So I said, listen, what's a B2B business that will never go like out of business, basically? And the first business was helping people to get funding and capital for their business. Yes. That was like the first option. I don't know if it's because I'm always asking ChatGPT funding questions, but that was number one. So definitely, I think this is going to be a great conversation for sure.
I think so too.
Yeah,
Definitely. But yeah, let's jump right into it. I did my research.
Okay.
I watched a few of your podcasts and I must say you have an incredible backstory. But definitely, you know, to get where you are today, you got to kind of take us back a little bit.
Okay.
Just let us know like what made you interested in the business attorney route, you know, what businesses you had, like how was your past like upbringing and things like that?
So I grew up as a child of an entrepreneur. So my dad had his own tax office. So
nice.
I'm used to, you know, being at the office, you know, seeing that whole entrepreneur life. So I saw it, but, you know, I want the 6-figure job. I want the corporate job. Like, I'm not going to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So out of law school, I went and worked for a tax and asset protection firm. And I would be flying every day of the week to a different business, telling the CEO why his business structure was wrong. You got to have a holding company. You got to do this. You got to do that. And once I started getting my paychecks and seeing how much I was making versus what they were billing me at, I was like, the math ain't math.
Yep.
So I said, okay, this really isn't what I thought it was going to be. Because it sounds fun. I'm making 6 figures. But when you start making 6 figures, you realize that's not a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think I need to go on my own. So I saved up 6 months of living expenses and I quit.
Wow. I can't even lie. Like a lot of people, you know, they don't got that mindset to just up and go, you know, even if they got money saved up. It's just the thought of it, the comfortability and things like that. They're like, hell no.
And
so
just-
at the time, did you have like any responsibilities? Were you like,
No, I was single.
oh, okay.
My plan is not for everyone, but I'm the kind of person, like when my back's against the wall, like that's when I perform the best. Like if I'm gonna fight with the bear, go help the bear. Like I'm good. So I said, 6 months, I gotta make something shake in 6 months.
Yeah.
So I actually started out doing criminal law because this is gonna be circa 2006. I'm a little old. 2006, entrepreneurship wasn't big, right? So no one's worried about it. LLC or asset protection. So I actually decided to start my practice doing criminal law. And so I went to the #1 strip club in Houston, Texas. And I put my advertisement on the back of the bathroom wall because I had to put myself right where my target audience was. And my business just took off because what's happening at the strip club? Prostitution, possession with the intent, a little DUI.
Drug deal.
So I'm putting myself right where my target audience is. And my business just, took up. And then I saw a movie. So I may have had my practice for a couple of years, grew it. And I saw a movie, Good Hair. Never wore hair extensions a day in my life. And I was like, wait, there's money in weaves? Like people are paying all of this money for fake hair? Never knew that.
Wow.
And so this guy I was dating at the time that I ended up marrying, but anyway, he told me about it. He had invested in selling hair, but he was in a small little town, Beaumont, Texas, was like population 10. And I'm like, you can't sell this expensive hair in this town. You need to move to Houston. So I invested in the business with him, and then we just started growing the business. And so one thing I noticed when I started having my hair boutique was at my law practice, people are telling me, can I be on a payment plan? 'Cause I got this bill, that bill, this bill. But on the business side, they're saying, oh, I ain't paying my rent. I got to get this hair. So I was like, I think I'll make more money with selling a want versus selling a need, because 9 out of 10 times you pay for what you want, not for what you need. So ended up investing in that and growing that, which then turned into our salon franchise, Super Express. So I just stopped practicing law and was doing business full time.
Wow. And that was like with no experience in terms of like hair, dealing with hair.
Never wore a hair extension a day in my life. I saw the profit margin. So back then, this is before AliExpress, this is before Instagram, before all of that, okay? You had to really import hair from either China or India. And we started with India. Like we really had hair that was cut off someone's head, like a bundle starting at $200. But I'm getting 4 times. I'm getting 4. If you give me 10, I get 40 back. The numbers were insane.
Wow.
But no one else saw the vision. My mom, you went to law school? You want to go and sell hair? I'm like, Mom, I only get paid if I work at the law firm. I have to go to court. I have to do the contracts where I would rather get paid off of other people working than just be tied to me. But like a lot of times people don't see where it is that you're trying to go. So you got to know exactly what you're trying to do, because you're going to get a lot of flack.
Wow. I think the hair, makeup, and beauty industry is definitely one of those big industries that you can make a lot of money. Reason why I say that is because a lot of times is now I'm sure, the feet cost anywhere from $50 to $100,
Mm-hmm.
Now, not only that, you got to get the hair done.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get the face done. You got to have, and I think they even have subscription of makeup, like,
Really?
I think so. Like where you get the, like every month you get the CeraVe, you get the moisturizer, you
Okay.
get all
Okay.
that. So you almost like a subscriber. It's kind of like, it's kind of like a business like Coca-Cola. You always gonna drink
Correct.
Coke.
Correct.
So you always gonna need these products and people are always gonna pay you.
Correct.
Yeah. Wow. So with the franchise, were you doing hair or you just hired some girls that are, stylists?
Hired stylist.
So you never did hair either?
Never did hair. Don't have a cosmetology license.
Wow.
I was trying to convince. So when we had our hair boutique, Creme de la Creme Hair, we just sold the hair extensions.
Mm-hmm.
And so for 3 bundles, you're gonna pay about $600 to $1,000. I told you, back in the day, it was a great industry.
Damn.
But then the recession hit. And so unless you were an entertainer, or you lived an alternative life, you didn't have $1,000 for hair once the recession hit. So I was like, what can I get into that's affordable? And back then, this is going to be now 2009, 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Forever 21 was really big. They had just come out. They were really big. I'm like, how can I be the Forever 21 of hair? And I recall being at the Bonner Brothers hair show years before, and I saw this $50 song. I'm like, how do you make money doing a $50 song? But that'd be a great concept because it's affordable. I'm selling luxury, and during a recession, the luxury is the first thing that's going to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
So how can I make this more affordable? So I was like, we need to do a salon, a service that's not just a product, and it needs to be affordable but have tiered pricing so I can kind of get you wherever you are. So the get you is the $50 song. Once you come in, you want shampoo, style, all that. I'm adding to my ticket. So I started with just one salon, and then I grew that to 5 in Houston area, and then 10 between Texas and Louisiana. Hi, I'm Joi. I'm your business bestie, and being a business attorney and serial entrepreneur, I know how to get your business to the bank. So join my 5-day business challenge as I teach you how to structure your business, protect your assets, know what contracts you need, how to get business funding that is solely in your business EIN with business credit or business grants, how to make money in your sleep with digital products, and most importantly, how to market your business to get your ideal client to come to your brick and mortar or come to your website. See you at the bank. Go to joihuntesq.com. That's JOIHUNTESQ.com.
So what was like, because you did say something before you grew too fast. Like what was the problem with that business model, you'll say?
I would say with that problem was growing so fast. Well, let me back up to answer your first question. I had no experience in hair. I tried to convince one of our hairstylists to come in with me because I felt like I didn't have any credibility as a hairstylist. So how am I going to hire these people and train them? And I'm not, a cosmetologist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally learned how to do hair from the stylist that wouldn't come into business with me. She taught me everything. So sewing, cutting, curling, the whole 9, I could do it. So to be cohesive, we had to have our stylists do it the same way so that everything would be the same. So I'm literally over here training these girls, and I'm just saying I'm from corporate. I never said I owned the salon because I felt like I wasn't credible. I'm not a cosmetologist. Yeah, I'm a lawyer, but who cares about a lawyer when you're doing hair? So I ran it like it was a corporate. I'm a manager here. Corporate sent me here. I'm just, training, and we grew. It took about 6 months for people to kind of like a $50 sewing. What's that? It took it a while for people to kind of get the concept. But after All-Star Weekend hit Houston, when All-Star Weekend hit, it was like God just said, "There's the increase," and we just blew up.
Wow.
Fast forward to today, like hair is such a big industry right now.
Correct.
Like it's even in New York, it's crazy.
Oof.
It's crazy. But one thing I noticed, seems like you always had an eye for what would work, because like when you even said you put your you put your poster in the bathrooms of the strip club when you was doing criminal law, the fact that you have the eye to actually see like, hey, this is like some type of marketing that'll help my business. And then with the $50 sew-ins, you actually seen that as well. So it seemed like you definitely had that entrepreneur spirit in you for a while, but definitely, like, what are some along the way? I know it's not going to be all successful. So what are
Correct.
some issues that you faced along the way with the hair industry?
In the hair industry, some of the issues I faced, as I was telling him earlier, we grew really fast. So a lot of times when you're starting your business and you're growing, you think, I want to have 30 locations. I want to have, but that's so much you have to manage. So handling all those employees, handling all the customers, the customer complaints. And if you don't have a system, you can grow too fast for your system. So it was like our growth was just too much for me to handle because I couldn't duplicate myself. Now, if I had 2 or 3 more baby Joys running around here, it would have been good, right? But for me to make sure that, all the stylists are coming in on time and have great customer service and, handling, the complaints and making sure everything is staffed and you're coming in on, it was a lot. And I felt like I had to pick and choose which locations I would focus on because I was spreading myself too thin. So in business, sometimes I always say, sometimes the smaller the party, the smaller the club, the crunker the party, whatever that you can manage and sustain, that's what you need to do. Bigger isn't always better.
Yeah. And it seems like you've been in business for a while. It looks like you survived 2 pandemics, or not pandemics. The 2007 recession, and then the 2020 COVID. Like, what'd you learn throughout those 2, seasons?
The power of the pivot. You have to be able to pivot in business. And a lot of times as an entrepreneur, your business is your baby.
Yeah.
You want to just hold on to it. But you got to know when it's time to move around, when it's time to shake, like when it's time or when it's time to change. So in the hair industry, I'm like, all this luxury stuff, I got to change. I also have a car dealership. And we were doing regular financing where, we were getting people approved with the banks. But when COVID hit, they would ask the companies when they were doing the financing, will this person be employed for the next 6 months? And they were like, well, we don't know if we're going to be in business for the next. I mean, we have a whole outbreak right now. Right. So we couldn't get people financed. So we switched from doing regular bank financing to doing in-house financing. We were the bank. So you just pay us. And when we changed that model, hit.
That's a big risk, though.
The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward.
Yeah.
It is a risk. It's a risk.
Because you got people that car accidents. I mean, you got insurance, but still.
Correct. Car accident, they're going to steal your car.
Steal the car.
Cannot pay. All that's part of the business. So you have a couple trackers on, a good repo team. Yeah. You're going to take a loss, here and there. But as long as the gains are more than whatever the risk is, it makes sense.
That definitely makes a lot of sense. And then, being in business and then also being a business attorney, how did that help you, especially with structuring your business properly and, making sure the LLC is set up the right way? Like, how did that help you, being able to understand both sides, like the business itself and then also the legal part?
I think it benefits me because I can see both sides. So in business, I'm always looking like, if something were to go wrong, then what? What am I at risk? Am I covered? But a lot of the things I speak about is really from being an experience. Because although, yes, I'm a business attorney, and yes, I know the structure in this, all of the exceptions to the rule is what I've learned from just being in business and taking those losses. That's it. In law school, they don't teach you everything, right? So you can learn what to do, but only wisdom and experiences teach you the exceptions to the rule. You can Google, how do I start, blah, 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 but it's them exceptions. It's that when that 1-2 punch comes, like, oh, well, wait a minute.
Hey,
tell me about that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow. So what's some of your biggest lessons or losses you'll say?
Woo, number one, there is no family in business.
Why you say that?
When in business, you have to run it like a business because it's grimy out here in these business streets. And when you go into business with your friends, with your family, you got to understand it's business. And when you go into business with your friends and family, I'm talking to myself, sometimes you don't dot all your I's and you don't cross all your T's because we cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my boy.
That's the homie.
That's my husband. That's my father-in-law. They ain't gonna do me wrong.
Yep.
And then you look up and you realize, wait a minute, I'm not protected. I didn't have a contract. Yeah, we said we was gonna be blah, 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 but we didn't put it in writing. They would never take advantage of me because we look at things through our lens. My character, my integrity, I would never screw over you. But they have a whole different lens.
Yeah.
And you don't realize until it's too late. And you be like, oh, I got God. So number one, there is no family, there is no friends in business. So just make sure we have an understanding. The understanding is in writing, and the problems never come until the money hits the bank. As long as we broke, maybe we in for life.
Yeah.
But when that money hits, I'm not gonna say it changes people. The real person shows up. Money changes everything.
So like, what was your specific story like with the biggest loss in the family business?
So when my husband and I started our dealership, Hollywood Motors, in 2017, we were just hit with an audit 3 years prior.
From the IRS?
The real alphabet, boys. The I, the R, and the S.
Oh, man.
Correct. So as an attorney, I got paid a lot of cash. So I'm going to keep the cash out the bank and I'm going to be underneath the radar and no one's going to know about me. Out of order. I know. And so we got hit with an audit and I literally had an agent from hell. Oh God. You don't know what IRS cover? No, I don't know what it means, right? And so when we got audited, our CPA at the time, he filed our return on the wrong form. I think either it's supposed to be a partnership and whatever it was, him filing the return on the wrong form caused a 6-figure tax bill. On top of, since we were audited, they went back into my skeleton, to my closet. And then me personally, I was audited for like 4 years and I was making money, but wasn't claiming it. So we got hit with the bill. So we were paying maybe $6,000-$7,000 a month just in paying back this IRS tax bill.
Plus interest accumulating, right?
So fast forward, when we started our business, it was like, the finance company was like, well, you have this tax bill. And after a certain amount, they're going to automatically put a tax lien on you. So although we're paying the monthly bill, we still have a tax lien because the amount was so much. So the finance company was like, well, we don't want to loan you any money because you have this tax lien and we don't want the IRS to come take these cars. We were getting a floor plan. A floor plan is where a company will buy the cars for you, you sell them, and then you just pay them back. It's like a line of credit for cars. So my father-in-law, who I thought was my other dad, he said, well, just put my name on the LLC. I said, okay. So I added his name on the LLC and the finance company was like, well, just take your husband's name off and just keep your father-in-law on because we don't want no one that has a tax lien. No problem. So my father-in-law is on the LLC. Now my husband's on the license and the surety bond and the lease, but my father-in-law is on the LLC. Fast forward About 4 years later, fast forward, we're making money. Okay. Life is good. But I kind of was in a toxic relationship. My husband was like a little bit abusive. He's kind of sleeping with employees, and I find out, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just move to the next subdivision because I don't want to do this anymore. So I just moved to the next subdivision from the co-parent. I'm still coming to work. You know, I'm not cussing and fussing. I'm not calling nobody in the phone. You live your life, I'm gonna live mine. But he then tried to kill me by shooting at me at the dealership, which caused me to have to just pick up my things and move to Florida. But I'm still working the business remote. And we're going to just somehow work the business and be all together because that's my father-in-law. That's my second father. He would never do me wrong. I was gone for 30 days. They took all the money out of our personal account, locked me out of our businesses in a 3-year, 6-figure legal battle because now my father-in-law, who's lived with me for 10, 11 years at the time, is on Social Security. I've taken care of him, bought him a Range Rover. You know, we flying in first class on vacations. He all of a sudden says, the business is mine because my name is on the LLC.
Wow.
Ain't no way he would do. There's no family in business. That's my fault. Because as a business attorney, I know better. But, well, we got this taxing but
Just bring it closer. Yeah, you good.
I left myself exposed, right? So I always say you got to have accountability. So we're in year 3, legal battle, because now that I'm leaving, they want the entire business themselves. My husband's saying, you want to leave? Bet the number is 0. Although when you met me, you had nothing. The number is 0. Although you built all these businesses and I just kind of jumped on your back and just had you drag me there, you leave, you get 0. So that's one lesson I've learned about, you know, there is no family. And I want to write a book about that. There's no family in business.
Wow.
That right there, that's a crazy story. The fact that, you know, even after, you know, you caught your husband, you know, cheating, sleeping with employees, you still came back to work and then almost got killed.
Yeah, it's like,
it's crazy.
I can't catch a break.
So now what are you fighting for 3 years later? Like, are you fighting for the business? Like, what exactly are you fighting for?
For the business. So the business is me and my husband. Well, me and my soon-to-be ex-husbands. But my father-in-law was like, well, wait, if I say it's mine, then I can just keep this with me and my son. And I can X you out. And then he can replace me and take my half of the income.
Breaking news, and I wanted to be the first person to let you guys know that we are bringing the Motion and Success community back, guys. So listen, this is going to be the #1 community for entrepreneurship growth. We're going to be showing you, #1, how to go out and use credit to fund and scale your business. We're getting approvals every other day inside our funding company. And I'm going to be showing you what's working in today's market so that way you're not left out. #2, we're going to show you exactly the strategies on how Motion and Success was able to grow from 0 followers all the way up to 150,000 plus subscriber and millions of views across different channels in less than a year and a half. I'm going to be breaking down that information as well. And not only that, we're going to be inviting our alumni back inside the community to be able to wrap their arms around you guys, give you more intimate information, give you that help that you guys need, so that way you're able to start growing and scaling your business. So listen, guys, if you want that kind of information, you want that kind of family love, if you want that kind of guidance in your business, if you want motion and success for yourself, go ahead and join us in the Motion and Success community, because listen, this is going to be the #1 year. We're going to be bringing back all the 7-figure earners that we went ahead and interviewed on our channel. So go ahead, stay tuned. I'll see you guys inside the community.
So, I mean, like being throughout a whole, I mean, this is just me asking, you know, being through a whole situation of, you know, you said years of going through, you know, the ins and outs with you and your ex-husband and stuff. Why not just say, F it? Like, I just don't even want any parts of the business anymore. That's the past. Like what's tying you like to still keep fighting?
I invested all of my money from my salon business to grow this enterprise,
Mm-hmm.
right? So half of this business is mine. I don't want to run the business.
You just want the income.
I just when I left, I said, I don't even want to bring the business in the divorce. I said, let's just keep it how things are. I don't want to mess with the money. I did too much sacrificing to mess with the money. My goal was for my son to be able to walk in and run Hollywood Motors. My son was never going to fill out no application. Go to school, go have fun, go pledge, go do your thing. But because I had my son since he was 7 or 8 in videos. Hey, gonna Hollywood Motors. That was for my son. So, okay, I'm going to leave this marriage where I built everything and just leave him and be zero. So I filed suit to protect my interests. But I will say this. Me leaving and me having to go through all of that, I wouldn't change it for the world. It was literally the best thing that can happen to me. The best thing that can happen to me. Sometimes God has to show you, number one, how good you are. And God wants to show you how powerful he is. So I'm going through it. February of 2022, my mama paid my rent. My mama's, I'm taking care of my mama. Pay my rent. Girl, how you get here?
I sent you to law school.
How you get? And I was like, all right, God. I would have never started my online business. I would have never doing what I'm doing now. I would have never met y'all. God has blessed me so abundantly. So a lot of times when we take a loss, we're looking to get back from where we took a loss from. And God's saying, I'm going to bless you. I'm going to bless you over here. So I'm at the point now, like I was like, I'm going to wait until my divorce is final and then write my book. And I'm like, you know what? The divorce being final has nothing to do with my story and how God's blessing me. Maybe God is blessing me in another arena for me to be like, don't even worry about that over there. So I don't know what's going to happen in the divorce. I don't know where it's going. But where I am today is, you know what? If y'all want it, go ahead. Because if you do it once, you can do it again. But the difference is they can't do it again.
They can't,
They don't know the system. They can't run anything on that level with licenses and permits and audits. That's too much for where they are business-wise. If you can do it, you'll just do it again. When Jay-Z left Rockefeller, I'm going to just go, I ain't tripping because I'm the talent. The person who's not the talent, the person who's eating off the other person like the puffy, that's the one who got the NDAs and you're trying to, keep the person down because you can't go create. So in life, whenever you take a loss, don't try to get rebuilt from where you took the loss from. Just look for God to show you where he's going to restore you. And whatever the devil took, God will give you 10 back, 10 times what he took.
Wow.
So add it up.
That's a fact. That right there is 100% true. I wanted to say too, you mentioned years of abuse and things like that. So, because I know this is a really sensitive topic, especially, domestic violence and things like that. But what kept you, staying? Like what kept you in the relationship? Tolerating it?
For all of those people who have never been in an abusive relationship, let me kind of break it down to you, okay? On day one, they don't abuse you, okay? So when it comes to emotional abuse, physical abuse, financial abuse, it's like a paper cut. It's going to be slow. Okay. So my son's father has always had a temper. So when he gets mad, he'll hit the wall. He'll break the table. Right. Red flag that I missed was any man that's violent, deuces. Because the violence eventually comes to you. But he's not violent to me. So he just has an anger problem. Red flag number one. Over time, they try to change you. over time, you'll see things are changing. So for example, I'm a makeup, dress up, heel kind of a girl, right? Year after year, why you got that makeup on? Well, baby, when you met me, I was the Mac store. Like what? And so you ain't got to wear that. So over time, you ain't got to wear that makeup. Why you got them heels? I remember I had he threw me a big birthday party. And for the gift, I got like 10 pair of Gucci and Giuseppe tennis shoes. Like, I don't even wear tennis shoes. I used to wear sneakers now. So over time, just slowly but surely, they just try to change you. Okay? Over time, your financial control is a little different. So for finances is, I have control over the finances, and then it's, well, my mom's going to pay our bills. I want her to manage everything. And that would be a big fight, but I'm trying to be this submissive wife. And so, okay, I let that go. And then all of a sudden it's, well, let me keep the money in the safe and it just slowly but slowly, and on top of that, there's life. We have good years. We have bad years. We got these kids. So we got a couple monkeys on the neck. You're kind of tired of arguing, right? Now the violence goes from I'm hitting a wall to now I'm throwing things at you, but he didn't hit me. My husband has never hit me. To this day, he's never laid a hand on me. And that was the worst thing, because in my mind, if you're not hitting me, you're not abusing me. But if you're not helping me, if you are giving me all of the burden of the house, of the kids, neglectful, right? Now we're throwing things at me. And I'm not getting hit because I'm dodging him, but you're chucking this sugar bowl like you play for the Astros, right? Now there's gaslighting. I didn't do all that. Like, you chased me around the house for 30 minutes. Like, I know. Oh, you exaggerating? And I'm like, I know what I saw, right? But all that with my son, and at the time, I had a bonus daughter. I lost her and all this, but they were happy. My in-laws were happy. We had a big house. We have successful businesses. Like, okay, well, I don't have to be happy. I can just be okay and just exist because everyone else is happy, right? I'm telling you, can you chill out? Can you chill out? But when you don't have boundaries and you're always the person trying to be the bigger person and compromise, in my mind, I'm just being the bigger person. I'm compromising. No, I'm being ran over. I'm being ran over. And so God, see how God works? God gonna give you that one thing that you're not gonna forget. Whatever that thing is for you. So we at the gym one day, long story short, there's a video on his phone of him having sex with the employee. So there is no hearsay. I had heard God said, babe, I'm here it is. And that was all I needed to pack up. Now, we had been in marriage counseling. I had been about 3 months before that. I don't want to do this. Like, I'm not mad at you. I'm not tripping. Like, you're not for me, and I am not for you. Sometimes you just marry the wrong person. And when you're with someone who's abusive, like, it was like my shine was too much for him. Some people is like, I want you to shine. I want you to shine. I'm gonna put my sunglasses on. When you walk out, like, your shine don't affect my shine. And we just all shining together. We gonna kill them. We go out tonight. We gonna kill them tonight. But then other people, they feel like they gotta dim your light so that they can have a light. And that was our biggest battle I kept saying, like, I feel like you're like, I'm competing with you. It's like, God, and so it's just like, why are we still doing this, right? And we got these kids. Because in my mind, I want my son to be in a 2-parent home. But now my son, now we're arguing in front of the child. Now you're running up on me and my child's getting in between us. And it wasn't until I saw him pushing on my son and my son I can see I'm not going to call it abuse. I can see his overly aggressive him being overly aggressive with my son. I could spot like, okay, that's wrong. But when he's overly aggressive with me, it's just like, oh, he's just tripping. That was so I was like, you're in a 2-parent home. This is toxic. Like, you're always arguing.
Yeah.
So over time, They wear you down. They isolate you. I can't go to sorority meetings. I can't have any friends. It's like, so now you're isolated. You're drained. You're no longer you. And so as the abuse goes, you keep saying, I'm 5 years in, I'm 10 years in. You have all these reasons as to why you don't just leave. And it's like, it's never going to get better.
Never.
You have to you're going to have to just remove yourself. But then some people are like, well, if I leave, then what? Because a lot of times they're going to have the financial gain over you. So as a woman's going to check out before she actually physically leaves, right? So I'm like, I don't even think I'm going to do this. So how do I navigate this? And that's when I realized I could never get my hand on any money. It's like every card I had access to, that once I get that card, I promise you in a week, it may have $1,000 in it. Maybe. Like the money just happens to move. Oh, I moved. And it's like, I don't have the access to go, I got to come to you for security. I got to come to you for everything. And it's like, how did I let all of this happen over time? Slowly but surely is how it happens. So when a woman is abused, at one point, she's just existing. And that's how it happened. On day one, they ain't calling you out your name and they ain't hitting you, but they're going to wear you down.
Yeah, that's crazy. Even thinking back to what you just said, he also was taking over the financial aspect as well. So then it was making it even harder for you to leave.
Exactly. Because in the beginning, I was real strong, right? And I had the salons, I had my car. I would tell him no. But then it's like, I don't want to argue, right? And a toxic person loves to argue. They wake up, is it Sunday? And it's just like, oh my God. So okay, if I don't breathe, he won't argue. If I don't blink, he won't be mad. And so you were like walking on eggshells, just trying to not tick this person off, not knowing what's going to tick them off, not realizing you being you ticks them off. And it's never going to work.
Yeah.
So how does a person leave like a toxic marriage or relationship?
You have to understand that you're going to leave with nothing. You're going to have to understand you're going to leave with nothing. They're going to make your life a living hell. It's going to get worse before it gets better. But if you continue to stay, you may not make it. And so there were several signs that mentally he wasn't there. But when you're in it, when you sit in shit for too long, it don't stink, right? When you're in it, you don't really see how bad it is because it's gotten so bad, but you're just in it. And so we had one previous gun shooting at the dealership where he just fired off with employees and customers in there. That should have been another sign, but he's just, whenever he gets mad,
Wow.
And so when he shot the gun at me and my son is sitting right there, I said, oh, see, for some reason, I couldn't see the abuse. He's just tripping. But when you endanger my son, now I'm a mama bear. I don't care who you are. If you endanger my son, it's a wrap. You're going to fire a bullet off, and our son is like 5 feet right there. That bullet could have ricocheted, and the bullet hit somebody in the bathroom. What if it hit our son? Like, oh, you tripping. Oh, come on, dudes, we out of here. I ain't playing that. But that's what I needed just to leave. Because, see, I'm trying to salvage the relationship. I got my in-laws. I got my bonus daughter, Sissy. I have this great family. And God's like, baby, you've been living with the devil. These people hate the guts they hate your guts. They smile in your face because you have to make all this money. They hate your guts because you're showing their son up every single day. And as I left, God showed me, dang, my father-in-law, you taking the money? My mother-in-law, y'all already know how to order your son, and you letting it just zero? The house zero? Like when I left, I didn't take anything. Now it could have been turned up Tukey out here, you know what I'm saying? Messing up the furniture. I'm even with class because how I handle myself is a representation of me.
Yeah.
And it's like some people will see you down and it is what it is. But the good side of me seeing all this is number one, me just sharing this I have so many women in my DMs. Like, I've been in the same situation. You have? There's another sociopath out there? Like they make more than one? Like what? And so it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
You don't want to say that you're being neglected or abused because of the stigma that people place on it. If you realize when Casey came out saying that, Puffy abused her before the video came out.
Yeah.
She got dragged through the coals.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she just wants his money.
And
it wasn't until the video came out showing him drag her. Oh, how many people have a video? Right?
All right, so sorry to break the episode. This message is for any entrepreneur. You really do a good job. You're killing it at whatever you do, but no one knows you. You have no social media presence. Well, guess what? You're missing out on a lot of money. Good news is I help entrepreneurs like you grow organically on social media. No gimmicks, no ads, just authentic, strategic content that converts. And if you're a podcaster, I've got you covered as well. If you're struggling to grow your show, struggling with editing, well, I cover those services as well. It's time to stop procrastinating and take action immediately. Click the link down below and book a call with me where we're going to sit down and talk one-on-one, and we're going to start helping you grow and create some motion and success, but more importantly, get you some leads that will convert into dollars. So what are you waiting for? Your audience is waiting for you. Let's get them to trust you. Click the link below.
And so another thing about a toxic person, like my son's father, seller salesman on the outside, charismatic, friendly, loving. So you wouldn't even believe it. Like there's no way and it's like he's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So it's like with me sharing my story, I'm now able to see, whoa, like now that I got through therapy, okay, now I can see how all this happened. But now I feel like I'm a strong enough person where I'm okay with sharing it because it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
Every woman isn't going to be as strong as me just to be able to pull themselves up from nothing. That's what had me started to give free classes to teach about how to girl get you a business. He not going to pay the child support. Okay. Don't rely on nothing from him because he's not going to do it. And in order to enforce it, what does a woman have to do? Pay attorney's fees, and they don't have it. This divorce, I'm going to drag this divorce on. Why? To drain me. All they want to do is keep you down. So me just being able to share my story, I realized, you know what? I want to help other women get out of situations, but I want to bring awareness that this happens in the gated communities. It's not just, I'm having to stay because this man's paying all my bills. This happens in all kinds of social classes.
Every race, every
race,
definitely.
everything.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Everything.
Definitely. And I was gonna say too, because I was wondering, like, did his family know? Like, when did it finally come out? Like, oh, their son is abusive. Like, when did it open up? And then, like how was his father's reaction to that?
So, have you ever heard of an enabler?
Yeah.
So, an enabler is someone who I'm going to allow you to do this. So, he is their only child, right?
Oh, okay.
So his dad didn't know his dad. So he wanted to make sure that, he was like the number one dad, right? But in being that number one dad and you want to be his friend, you also allow him to do whatever it is that he wants. So his dad knows he's abusive. One day, this is right when COVID broke out. My son's father came home mad about something. Started just chunking all the china out of our dining room at me and chased me around the house. And I thought I was going to die. Damn. So I ran at the house, and we have a guest house in the back of our house where my in-laws stayed. And I'm like screaming, help me, help me, help me. My father-in-law came out and he grabbed my son's father so I can go. I'm like, you need to take him. So his dad was aware that this was happening. I'm trying to be cool. Like, I'm not trying to ruffle no feathers, but this stuff ain't right. I don't want to call the police because, it's a black man, but it's like, this stuff ain't right. But no one's trying to make sure that I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
So even when I left, it was kind of like, oh, okay, well, go ahead, leave. But now I'm going to pull the money from you. If I pull the money from you, I can still control you. So I said, baby, I will sleep outside before I crawl back to anything. So to answer your question before we started filming, I wasn't able to take a year off to rebuild and to heal. I had to go from going through all of this, packing up, moving, to getting right back in the grease and starting a brand new business to go pay this rent.
Wow.
But that goes back to you understanding the, what it takes to build a successful business.
Correct.
So, how was your son, like, how did he react to things like that? Like, was he old enough to understand what was going on?
Yeah, He was 8. He understands everything that's going on. And the sad part is he understood more than what I thought he knew. So I remember I first moved out of the house and moved to the next subdivision. And that lasted about 3 weeks until he shot at me. And so when he shot at me, I had to pack up again and move to Florida. And so one day we were going to Waffle House. He loves Waffle House. And we're passing our old house before I was actually moving out, like moving to Florida. And as we passed by the house, he goes, Mommy, will you ever get back with Daddy? And so I said, well, Corey, what do you want, Mom? What do you want Mommy to do? So I wanted to hear what he was going to say. And I'm driving and he goes, no. He goes, I want you to be with someone who's not going to try to kill you. Someone's not going to holler at you and call you mean names. And someone who's not going to, be mad at you when you go to HEB. That's our grocery store. And tears just rolled down my eye because I'm like, I'm thinking we're in this gorgeous home. We're a 2-parent, but he's seeing all of the toxicity, right? So my number one focus is I got to make sure that his lifestyle doesn't change for too long because he's used to just getting Amazon every day and Benihana's and he lives his best life, right? So now when we went to Florida, it's Little Caesars and I found us some parks to go to. And so I was trying to be proactive because, Disney is
Not
where
too
we're
far.
at.
Yeah.
I found us a fun spot, like a little cheap. I mean, like this one's better, Juice. It has shorter lines. He's like, yeah, this is because I'm being proactive. Because I already know, baby, we're not gonna be able to ball out. Little Caesars, let's have a pizza night tonight. So I was being very proactive in how our life was going to be different, so he wouldn't really recognize it. But that's what fueled me to be on live every night, to work this business, because I'm like, I have to get him back. I ain't tripping on me. I ain't got to be in Chanel, but I got to get him back quickly.
Yeah, I'm glad that you actually sharing this incredible story, because
Really?
like a lot of women are going through this, and the way you broke it down, like some women they don't see a way out, out of the situation. So the fact you're sharing this it's definitely gonna help a lot of women, for sure. For sure.
It really is. So fast forward and like after, like your mom helping you pay rent, you move out from Texas to Florida. What business did you decide to start after that?
The firm.
The firm. So that's the online.
That's
firm?
the online business consulting business I have.
Nice. So in your business right now, you're mainly showing people how to protect their assets and also grow their business.
So I'm going to tell you how to structure your business, how to protect your assets, what contracts you need, how to get business funding solely in your business EIN. So how to win business grants and how to establish business credit. And then most importantly, how do you market your business? So people are going to spend all their money getting their business together. I got the website, I got the brick and mortar, I got the equipment and inventory, but it's crickets. I don't have no sales, right? And now you out of money. Where marketing after your structure is the second most important thing because that's the cash flow. That's what's going to pay the bills. You have to have a marketing plan. So you have to understand who's your target audience, what problem does your business solve, and how do you get that person to your door? And that's the hardest thing in business. Getting someone to your front door or getting someone to your website. And I feel like no one's talking about it.
Mm. So like, what's your top strategies as far as, getting clients to bang down to your door for your services?
So number one, you have to know what problem your business solves.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, you have to figure out what makes you different, what makes you unique, whatever is about you or your product that's different. So are you more convenient? Do you have better ingredients? Are you experienced? Are you innovative? Like, what makes your business different than the competition? Third is, who is your target audience? Who is your product specifically designed for? And most people will say, well, I want to sell to everyone, but you can't market to everyone.
Right.
How Chanel markets, Walmart can't market, and vice versa. If Walmart went and took had a $10 million marketing ad and put it in every country club and yacht club magazine, they would be wasting their money, because that's not Walmart's target audience. Not saying that a member of a country club won't shop at Walmart, but why are you over? That's not your target audience.
Right.
So knowing who your target audience is, who is that person, who is that demographic, what do they like? So now we know how to market to them to get them to your business. How do you make your social media page findable and attractive to strangers, right? You are not going to have a 5, 6, or 7-figure business selling to your mama, sister, and cousin and them. They ain't going to buy from you anyway.
Yeah, that's
right?
so true.
You're going to get rich off of strangers. So how do you make your page findable? Then when a client stumbles upon your page, what on your page tells them exactly what you do and how you help them. A lot of times you want to have, I'm a coffee drinker and I have 3 kids. They don't care about that.
Yeah.
So just those things, and teaching people how to actually sell, because nobody wants to sell in business, but everybody wants to make money. You have to be able to sell. But when you have your target audience, you're not really selling. They're searching for you. I've been looking for you. Can I get 2? That's where you want to put that's why I put my advertisement at the strip club. I'm putting it right here where if you're here, you need me.
Yeah.
Either you need me, your homeboy need me, your cousin need me, little nuke, but I'm right there. Everyone there needs me. So once you understand your target audience, now we go and put our business where they hang out at. And now we're just selling fast. I call it printing money. Now you're just printing money because you have your product right where everyone's been searching for your product, searching for your service.
So how about like people doing business as like a sole prop? They
What?
say, because people
what?
I've heard
What?
of people doing business at. Matter of fact, not I've heard. I see clients that comes to us for funding. They're like, hey, listen, I just sold this property. I got my EIN. I got $100,000 in the bank. Can I get some business funding?
No, we have a business.
Yeah, that's my answer. So what do you think about businesses that are, people that are doing business as a sole prop?
So I'm a prop kind of a person. So normally when I do my videos, I have these stuffed animal monkeys. Okay. So when you are out here doing business as a sole proprietor or a DBA, don't be asked out. You are exposing your personal assets to creditors. You may own a house, you may own a car, you may have money in the bank. All that is exposed when you're a sole proprietor. We don't want to do that. So when you form your LLC, you're not forming it because the business is making all this money. It's so big. You're forming it to separate you from the business. A sole proprietor, you're about to lose your house. You're about to lose your car. You're about to lose the money in the bank. You're about to be upset with this spouse. You're about to be in divorce court and bankruptcy court just like that. Because in business, it can go from sugar to shit just like that. One bad move and it's a wrap. So you want to be able to minimize my loss. if I were to make a mistake, if my employer were to make a mistake, if I thought the contract read 1, 2, 3, you thought it read 3, 2, 3, 2, 1, now we're in court. How do I minimize my risk? And a lot of times we think this EIN number is doing something. I've had people in business for 20 years without an LLC. And then when it's time to form their LLC, their business name is taken. Now they got to rebrand, rechange everything.
Now it costs more.
I want to get funding. I have a 20-year business, baby. You don't even have a business. Or they're going to have one LLC and have 15 DBAs out that one LLC. I got a boutique. Baby, in one LLC. So if one thing happens at one business, they can now touch the money and the assets from all the other businesses because you combined everything in one.
Wow.
So I teach people, how do you structure your business? How do you protect your assets? So that when something does happen, you don't lose everything.
Have you seen some? My fault.
I was going to say, so if you were to, rewind time back, what would you have done differently to protect yourself, your money, and all the things that you helped build, in the business, the car business and everything? What would you have done differently to be like, make sure that, you wouldn't have to leave with no money or at risk of losing ownership and things like that? So
what I would have done differently is when my father-in-law got on the LLC to represent me and my son's father. I would have had my mother from the beginning. I put my mom on the LLC when we were going like, hey, I'm leaving, so I'm throwing her on there, but I would have had her on from the very beginning. Yeah. I would have number 2 been more in, not as trusting with the finances. See, I struggled with business joy and wife joy. Because I have a very strong personality, if you couldn't tell. Yeah. So in the beginning, my whole thing is like, I'm checking the money. Like, what's this? What's that? What's this? What's that? And okay, I got to be submissive, okay, and I'm okay with being submissive, right? Okay, he's the head and he leads, and I'm with that, right? But everyone's not going to be transparent. So I would have had more checks and balances. Just because he says that this bill is this amount, I would have checked it. Like, for example, he's really into cars, right? I think we have enough cars. We have like 2 Rolls Royces, a Lamborghini. We always had 5 cars. He had 3, I had 2. Yes. And he would say things like, well, the Lamborghini's just $3,000. I don't know what a Lamborghini is. So I'm like, the Rolls Royce is 3. I'm assuming the Lamborghini's 3, right? No. No. I find out 2 years later, the Lamborghini is $6,000 a month. We're paying $6,000 a month for one car? Well, if I told you the truth, you would have said no. So I just lied to you. So he would just lie to me about things. Man. But because you're my husband, I'm just going with the flow. Yeah. Same with the business. Like, I'm just going with the flow. So I wouldn't go with the flow. I would have a weekly, let's go over these bills, these expenses, what's in these accounts, not just relying on my business part. Okay, you handle the finances, I'm going to handle the system. Like, I wouldn't rely on that. So those I would say would be 2 things I would have done differently looking back.
So do you recommend, like, for new couples, people newly married, for them to split finances, like in between them, like put it together or like split it up?
I'm going to say this in my heart of hearts. I believe whatever fits them. Okay. I don't see anything. Okay. See, I'm talking about being in a toxic relationship, right? Yeah. There's going to be a man out here who is a healthy man. A man who believes that his wife is his responsibility. A man who believes I'm a provider. A man who's going to go without to make sure that the wife and the kids are taken care of. Yep. So when the man and the woman put the money together and God told them, this is your person. See, I didn't ask God. See, God told that's your person. she can believe that he's going to do his best to make sure that everything is okay. So I don't think anything is wrong if you feel like God said this is your person, that you still have that trust and you can have one account, because together you can do more than separate. Now, if God didn't tell you and you said your biological clock was ticking, so he cute, he gonna be good, and you're not sure, then I would say have one account, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, that the bills are in, and maybe you have another account. But I feel like you should do what you and your gut feel like is best for you and your relationship. But together you can always do more than being separate.
Definitely. I totally agree. I had to ask that because you know, one of the top reasons for divorces is the money, you know, and then
Finances.
a lot of times, like after marriage, then you start to see a lot of things unfold, you know. So definitely, it's super important. But you did mention, you said getting back to, you know, starting your new business, you know, online, the virtual firm. You said finding your ideal customer. So at what point did you end up getting on social media, going on lives? And
February of 2022, when my mama paid my rent. So I'm a brick and mortar girl.
Yeah.
See, I thought I was going to just take 6 months in a year and just, you know, unlayer all the layers of what I went through, and, you know, be at the Four Seasons, getting, you know, massages and, you know, seeing my therapist, and just, you know, I just need just something to unwind and just, you know, I've been through so much, right? And so February 2022, when I realized I don't have no money, I got to make something shake. Well, it's not fair. How can I have to go back and work? Baby, rent is due on the 1st. Life ain't fair. What you talking about, right? So I didn't have any money to go start a brick and mortar business. I don't have money for a nanny to go watch my son. I got to do something at home. I don't have any money for no inventory. So what can I sell? All I can sell is myself. So I just went online and just started talking about business. Because see, in social media, they say, buy my course. You'll be a millionaire in 24 hours.
Yep.
You're going to fire your boss the next day. And by Wednesday, you're going to have your laptop up on the beach, living your best life. Don't build someone else's dreams, build yours.
Yep.
And in building a multiple 7-figure business, that ain't how business works.
Absolutely
At all. So I said, you know what? Let me just tell what my experience is. Let me tell you about, that's why I made me get these monkeys. I would have monkeys on my video because that's that stress around your neck, right? Let me tell you about when you max some credit cards out, when you're starting your business and you ain't got a marketing plan, what's going to happen on the 1st? That note going to be due. You don't have no cash flow to pay that note. Now you robbing Peter to pay Paul. Now you messing your credit up. Now you stressed. Let me tell you about if you don't have an LLC and you get sued. Oh, you run around in that little Benz, your house and all that, baby. When you lose all that and your kid has to come out to AU basketball and that daughter can't be in ballet, and you got to tell that wife she got to come out of Target and Starbucks and Jack and Jill and go get a job. Oh, now she's looking at you, but I didn't tell you to go get a job. I mean, I told you to go get this business. I told you to. Now you cussing and fussing. See, I know business. So I just started every night going on live, just taking one aspect of and just talking about in real, and people just gravitated to me because they're like, you're talking to me. Where'd you learn this? What book? What book? Baby, the School of Hard Knock Life. I lived this. So over time, I turned to online and they say, well, hey, people saying they're making money online. Well, let me go online. I was doing LLCs and I was doing consultations. And I said, I'm going to take over LegalZoom. I'm going to be the LLC queen. That's what I thought. And I did one post, February of 2022, about a business grant, and my DMs went crazy. And I was like, y'all know about grants? See, sometimes you may think you're going one way, but God's saying, nope, you're supposed to go right over here. And that one grant bundle took me and my son exactly where we needed to be.
Wow.
Really?
Yep.
One digital product.
The power of one.
Wow.
One thing, one choice, one person, one opportunity can change the trajectory of your life. And I believe in that wholeheartedly.
Wow. That's crazy. But that goes to show, like, everything you've been through, like you said, prepare you for the moment. And then you was able to go and get back on your feet.
But here's the thing. It's just life.
It's life, yeah.
Something else going to hit me.
Mm.
It's just a part of life. And I think the reason why I was able to bounce back so, I won't say quickly, but it looks like, I just bounced back. It was rough. Okay. It was rough. Many a nights I saw myself booking a flight to go to Houston to burn this mother up or down. I mean, I was there. Okay. I was there. But in business, I've been fighting gorillas all day, every day. Like I'm just fighting my husband before I'm fighting the IRS, payroll, employees, law. It's just business. So I'm using the same tactics I do in business because it's the same thing.
Yep.
So it's always, how do I pivot? How do I see something's wrong? And how do I redirect my time versus just staying with the wrong for too long?
How do you build such a strong mindset? I mean, this is almost like a cliche question, but like, how do you do it?
You know what? I would say I'm going to have to give my dad some credit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my dad, he was one of the first kids in Texas to go to a desegregated school, San Antonio, Texas, and they almost killed him. Right. Wow. So growing up in life, I was taught you're Black. You're born behind the 8 ball. You have to be 10 times as better than your counterparts just to be treated equal, and life isn't fair. So growing up with that mindset, I'm not looking for the easy win. I'm not expecting things to go my way. I'm looking for the adversity because I know life isn't fair. And so as I was going, every time I would go through trials and tribulations, like in high school, I had this basketball coach. She was like on my neck. I went to a predominantly white school. I felt she was a little, what, and she would just, she would just harp on me. Like if someone else is talking, well, Joi, you gonna run suicide. My dad was like, you're gonna meet a Miss Dykstra later on in life. You gotta learn this personality. Yeah. So when she tells you to do something, do it as quick as possible and act like it's not bothering you. So I learned whenever there's adversity, just fight it head on. Miss Dykstra, right? Oh, okay. If this is what happened, bam, how do I fix it? Where do I go? Boom, move on. So just I've always had that. Now this last one was number Jesus. I was like, oh, Jesus, I don't know what we about to do with this one. So I need you just to keep my sanity. And so I would listen to every single day for a year, all day, a YouTube video. Keon Henderson. Oh, yeah, Lighthouse Christian Church House. I know Kiki since he came to Houston, but I never listened to any of his sermons. In February 2022, he was talking about resentment, talking about payback, talking about how to get all that negative out of me, right? Like I want to kill him and burn him. It was like, you know what? Once I got all that out, now I can really focus on my business. Now I'm getting some traction. Okay. But I had to listen to Keon just to keep my mind, to keep my sanity, because it was dark.
Yeah.
It was really dark for a period of time. And so just listen to that. I call that filling myself up. So even now, I don't know. I done heard all Keon. Now I'm on Jamal Bryant. I didn't like Jamal. I was mad at Jamal for years. Like you cheated on yourself. I'm in his DMs. Like I'm getting a long on. He don't know you from the Kingdom. How dare you? But now his messages, I'm loving it. And he's all about, restoration and getting your win. So you got to always be pouring into yourself, because out here in life,
it's not easy.
It ain't easy. It's tough. So you got to always be pouring into yourself so that you can keep your sanity.
Wow. Yeah, that definitely was a period in life where you got to remain strong,
And you got to have a why. Like, why are you doing this?
Strong purpose.
Yeah. Because a lot of people would have definitely folded. A lot of people look for other options to cope, start heading towards drugs. Unfortunately, even some women, even prostitution, it's different way people used to cope going through trauma and things like that. So the fact you was listening to something positive, you wanted to get your mind back to just focusing on you,
Go win. The
Yeah, go
best
win.
revenge is to go win and go win big.
Mm.
So my whole thing was, bet. I'm about to go win big. Like, I'm about to win so big, you gonna feel it. You gonna hear it.
Mm.
I'm gonna win so big. My goal is now, like, what they making, I'm gonna make whatever you making in a month. Like that's where I'm at right now. I know what y'all making. Whatever you make in a year, my goal, I'm gonna make that in a month. And that's what's fueling me. Take whatever you're frustrated at and turn it into something, make it a goal. Like, oh, bet you gonna break up with me? Bet. I'm about to go be fine. I'm about to go, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Working my personal development. I'm about to go do blah, blah, blah. Like, use all that frustration to go do something positive in your life.
Yeah.
Wow.
I agreed. I feel like that's kind of like how I was, but I don't know about you, Cody, but like anything heartbreaks or breakups, I'm looking for the glow up. Like
glow up?
Gym, working out,
Eat good,
leveling up, eating good, you know.
But I feel like that's when people like, we should try to do it before then, you know, so that way, because when the adversity comes, which it will, you know, you definitely be prepared. Like,
correct.
Like if somebody close to you, you know, pass away, unfortunately, you got to be able to, you know, handle it,
right,
and understand that you're going to be able to move forward. Because at the end of the day, it will happen. You know, I think this was from Matty J. He was like, because he has like a car rental business at one point. So he's like, what if somebody crashed my car? He's like, if it can happen, then it will happen. So it's like, you always got to mentally prepare yourself for things like that. Even when, you know, it's not there, your reality just yet, you know, you definitely got to prepare. But one thing I did want to ask you was, you know, you go over a lot of the risk when it comes to business, you know. Starting a business is not easy, you know. So now just bombarding people with, not bombarding them, but like just making the reality known to a person like, hey, listen, you could get sued. This could happen. That could happen. Somebody could come after you. Make sure you have insurance. Somebody could slip and fall intentionally, you know, things like that. So do you think just by telling people all of these things, like, does it stop them or slow them down from doing business? Or does it like prepare them more, even with all the risk?
Both. See, I want to slow some people down. Why? Because why? Because you about to come out here and kill yourself. It's like a little baby who's running in the street. Like, if you don't get the street, this car gonna run over you. So in your mind, you're about to go pull out this 401k to go start this business. You don't have an LLC. You don't have a marketing plan. I already know what's about to happen to you. In your mind, I took the course and they said I was going to be blah, blah, blah. Or when someone's doing something, they don't see all the dangers. They don't, you are a baby. You don't see, all you see is, I want that toy. And you're walking to get that toy, not realizing I'm having to cross a highway. There's moving cars. So before you go get this toy, let me tell you how to get the toy. Because you want to just jump out here now. Before you go and get that merchant advance loan, let me tell you why you don't need it. You don't have any cash flow. So you can't handle that interest rate when you get that merchant advance loan. You're about to have a UCC lien because you can't handle that. Those cash advance loans are meant to take you out. You got to have a strong cash flow and just need that money for a quick lick to make something shake, and then you're going to repay it back. But I want to stop you because you're about to take yourself out. So before you go file bankruptcy and be in divorce court or have a gun to your head or jump off a bridge, let me tell you what you need to do first.
But I think that was a great answer. So my last question is, probably might have two more, but my last question is, how does a person, because now you're talking about all the risk and all the reality of business, right? Which a lot of people don't usually do, you know, which is a good thing what you're doing, because now you're slowing them down from, you know, doing certain things that will set them back 10, 20 years, you know. How does a person like actually say, hey, listen, you know, I want to start the business. I understand all the risks that it comes with. How does a person leave their job? Like, what's your usual plan that you will teach? Or strategy?
I'm going to say it like this. There is no one size fits all. Everyone's not meant to be a full-time entrepreneur. And that's okay. We have to get rid of the if you work a 9 to 5, you ain't real. We got to get rid of that mentality.
Mhm.
Okay. So for some people, if you feel more comfortable working your 9 to 5 job and you can use that money to kind of fund your business and you're getting those benefits, then do that until you see that your business is making more money than your job.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you're like me, you a go-getter, I'm going to say that job is your safety net, which is also choking you because you're not going to really go full throttle because you got this safety net. So if you can handle the risk, everything is what kind of risk can you handle? See, some people want to do one thing not knowing what the risk is. If you can handle the risk, you can handle stress, you may have thought that you messed up the lights may come out. You may got to be on the Wendy's dollar menu for about 6 months, but I promise you can bounce back. If you can handle the risk, then leave that job and go work your dream full time.
Even if they might not be making money in your business too.
If you have a job that's making money, you got to first get your business to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Makes a lot of sense.
Unless you going to come out here and make something shake. I came out there and made something shake. It all depends on the person. If you have a reserve, now I'm not saying quit on day one, you don't have a plan. If you have a 6 month, I cut my nails off. I didn't get my pet. I did my own. I did my back in the olden days. They didn't have lash extensions, right? No, those weren't invented, so we had a little strip. I took my acrylics off. I did my own pedicures. I ate. Now back in the olden days, Wendy's had $1 menu. You can get a chili. You can get 5 nuggets for $1. Okay, I ate off the Wendy's dollar menu, or I would have them square ramen noodles with vegetables. I wouldn't eat out because as I'm working at the law firm, I had to save, my goal was 6 months of living expenses. So I had to cut back on my living to be able to save that money. And so once I got 6 months, I said that was my sign to go. I'm gone. I'm now about to work this thing because I know me, if I do 110%, see, if I'm at that 9 to 5, I can only give my dream, 10%, 20? So it's never going to flourish how it needs to flourish. But I can handle the risk. Everyone's risk tolerance is going to be different. So there's multiple ways of skinning the cat. You can work your job and your business part-time. And then when that kind of grows, you switch or save you some money out and go all in.
That's some game right there. I want to ask you too, because you mentioned grants. What, like, grants versus like business funding, like being that you meeting a lot of people who got businesses and things, how do you know which one to recommend to them? Or do you like do both, or how do you go about it?
I always say business grants are a great way to get money into your business that every entrepreneur should be applying for every single month because it's free money. Okay. So if you're a new business or you've been in business, but you have more month than money, you going and getting funding isn't going to help you because when them bills come, you can't pay them. Now you got more monkeys on your neck, right? Where grant money is going to be free. It's free cash flow into your business. So apply for a grant. If you're a seasoned entrepreneur, but you're scaling, when you're in your period of scaling or growth, you're taking on more employees, you're getting more equipment, you're adding more locations, adding more bills isn't going to help because our money is thin because we're scaling. So use business grants. It's going to be free money. They're simple to apply for. Most of the applications are going to be online. I have a grant bundle that breaks out how to apply for the grants. I give you a list of 1,000 business grants to apply for. They're going to ask you the same questions. Once you fill out about 2 applications and save your answers, you're really just copying and pasting your answers. But grants are a great way to get free money that's not going to have any stress. So you can put the money in to grow the business without you getting on pills, alcohol, or that gun. I mean, the monkeys is real. And so no one talks about that. And everyone thinks is like, I'm doing something wrong. Oh my God. That's why I say, if you've never thought about filing bankruptcy, you have not been in business. Like, that's just a part of the game. So before you go and kill yourself and get this loan, because you don't even know what you're doing. You don't even have a target audience. You don't know nothing. But I got this funding. I tell people, go make money by Monday. Go make money by Monday. Go sell your product and be okay looking a little bootleg. See, we want to look like the CEO. They're going to spend a whole year fixing their credit, maxing them credit cards out, getting the funding, and waiting on that $1 million idea for a whole year until they got the brick and mortar and the website and the equipment. And go sell that product today. Sell it without the packaging. Sell it with no web. Does somebody want your product? Be okay with looking bootleg. I always say, have you ever gone to a restaurant in the hood with bars on the window and the furniture is mismatched and they don't sell no brand, so it's going to be red Kool-Aid and grape Kool-Aid.
Yep.
And they're going to serve you in a white to-go plate that has no kind of logo, no brand on it. But them pork chops off the chain. When your product is A1, when you walk in, you don't even see them. You don't even see the stains on the carpet. You don't see the employees ain't got no uniform. You are coming for the macaroni and cheese, smothered chicken, and cornbread. You're coming, buying it, bypassing all of that. Someone will buy your product and or service without all of the frills. Go sell your product. So in my master class, I teach people, go make money by Monday. Go sell your product right now how it is. When you make the sale, that's going to be your cash flow. We can always make it prettier. Just go make the money. When I started selling my hair extensions, I started selling them on my law office conference room table. Bootleg. When you can't go buy it from Crib to Crib, it was first, you will walk to the Hunt Law Group and you'll be like, the Hunt Law Group? My secretary would be on the intercom, be like, pineapples. I run down the hallway, move them law books out, lay my bundles out, put the picture up, and I'm selling my product. I put my money in my product and my packaging. So my packaging mirrored the big brand. The big brand back in the olden days was Indie Remy. So my package mirrored them. So when you came in, you like the law office, this was a bootleg, but my product was A1. Once I'm selling the product, I got what's called proof of concept. Somebody besides my mama, sister, cousin, and them wants my product. As I'm making the sales, I got the money coming in. Now I feel confident to go get commercial property, expensive as I'll get out, prime location, because now I know they want it. The problem is, what they teach us today is fix your credit, go get $300,000, sign the lease, and when it's crickets, no one's coming in. Now, oh my God, now all the problems. So see, I'd rather stop you while your 401k is in the bank. I'd rather stop you while you still got, credit card money versus you coming to me now and now is everything gone. Now, how do you pivot? How do you bounce back? Some people can. Some people, it's just going to be, it's hard for them.
Absolutely.
That's very true. Because nowadays, if you go online, it is a lot of people they're doing funding.
And once again, nothing is wrong with funding, right? It's, you want to get the funding because see, when you start the business, you're going to bump your head. I thought I was going to do LLCs. It turned out my grants was a hit and people love my challenges. My little 5-day challenge, baby, I can't keep them out. Okay, here's my lane. It's going to take you some time to figure out what your lane is, what your product is, change your logo around, who my target audience is. I need to add this, take away this. Now, once you know exactly what's winning, now go get that funding and 10x what's working. Don't get the funding to try to figure out what it is. Wait until you can know exactly what's working. Your podcast is working. People love going to your podcast. Are you booked and busy, or is it taking you 6 months to find someone to be in your podcast? You're booked and busy. Now it's time to go run those Facebook ads, run those Instagram. Now it's time to go run motion and success. This little formula works. People are flying to you to come sit on at this couch and come talk on your platform.
Yeah.
You found your blueprint. Now go take that funding and maximize that blueprint. That's when you should be using funding, in my opinion.
Yeah, that makes that. I totally agree. And you said bankruptcy too. I did want to bring that up because you said you haven't been in business if you haven't thought about going bankrupt.
If you haven't thought about filing bankruptcy. Yes.
So why is that? Because I do see a lot of celebrities. You know, anytime one of them they file for bankruptcy, it's like on the news, and then you're like, damn, I feel bad for him. You know, he's probably broke. But in reality, it might not really be that case. It might be somehow they're trying to protect themselves or their assets. And
so
things like
I
that.
say you haven't been in business unless you've thought about filing bankruptcy, because in business, once you get in the trenches of business, something's going to go wrong. And something's going to go really wrong. Okay. And so when you're wrong and you're really wrong, a lot of times you don't know, okay, how am I going to get myself out of this hole? So the thought of, or the consultation, or is bankruptcy an option, that's going to come to your mind when you've really been in business. Because any vet out there is going to have that. I almost lost it. The CEO of FedEx was $25,000. They did not have the fuel. They were about to be out of business. He had $5,000 and went to Vegas and hit to go pay the fuel. If you have not been in that predicament, you're not in business. So I say, if you've never thought about filing bankruptcy, you haven't been in business. But bankruptcy is a tool. It's a tool that a lot of us in our community don't understand. We think if we file bankruptcy, it just means that we're out of there. Yeah. If you are in an industry that has changed, right? So if I was in the trucking industry back when gas was $10 a gallon, there's no way I'm about to make any money, because my cost to run my business is no longer going to be profitable. If I'm a vet, if I'm seasoned, if I have a reserve, I can weather that storm knowing I'm about to bleed for 6 months. But after that 6 months, I'm hoping that things turn. If I'm just 1 year in, I don't have a reserve, I can't sustain that storm. So do you want to bleed your little 2-month supply and then be in bankruptcy court? Or do you want to go ahead and file bankruptcy, keep your 2-month supply, and then go pivot into something else? So bankruptcy, number one, is going to get the debt off of you. See, some people, you made the wrong turn. There is no undoing it. It's not going to work. The interest rate changed. Back in the mortgage days when they had those inflatable interests, there is no way out of this. So once you get that stress off of you, now you can think. Now you can be creative. Now you can either start a new industry or pivot from what you were doing. Or there's another type of bankruptcy where you can keep all of your assets. They're going to say, okay, if your bills were $10,000 a month, we're going to make them $4,000 a month. You pay that $4,000, and at the end of the 5 years, you own all the assets. So you can still keep your assets, reduce your payments, and reduce that debt. So bankruptcy is a tool that has a negative stigma, but a business owner needs to have that tool to play if they need to in their back pocket, because sometimes you may need to restructure. That's why I say you need to have multiple LLCs, because you can knock one down, form a new one, and keep things going.
I feel like it's only an embarrassment to the people that just don't understand.
Exactly.
You know, the people that get it, they get it.
Exactly.
The people that don't get it, that's like, oh yeah, he failed, but just the guy that actually went out there and tried, you still haven't made a move.
Exactly.
You know? So it only affects the people. It only it looks bad to the person that really just doesn't understand, you know? So I wouldn't even, take that personally speaking.
Yeah, it got a stigma to it. It definitely does. Definitely. Yeah. And you have a big community online, and you run a lot of challenges, you're impacting lives, a lot of women in your community. What is some things that, they go in there to learn, and like some testimonials that you could share, like, of people really transforming their lives through the challenges or through your community and things like that? Because I know I see it online. I see your social media presence online, so I know the impact is there.
So my biggest impact is going to be the best way. I turn the light switch on. I don't know what your light switch is, but whatever your light switch is, I'm the person that can turn that light switch on. So some people, I had one girl in my challenge, her name was taken for her business, and she just thought, it was just over with, right? So I taught her, you can still keep your name. We can just remix it, right? We can throw something before your name or after your name. And and so, but she was going to just throw the business away and just, because some people, one little no is just, okay, well, that's God. God closed the door. I guess it wasn't meant for me. And it's like, baby, we're going to just do this, and this. Some people have everything, but they don't have any sales, right? Or I don't know how to do this, or I never thought I could just sell my product this way. So I don't know what the person needs, but between the structure, between the marketing, as I walk you through all of business in my challenge, eventually I get that light switch on. And so now they know exactly how they need to restructure their business, how they're going to market their business. I give them ideas for it, because my gift is I can really see like what you're good at. Like, okay, you're doing this. I think you should do this, and this. So I'm really good at telling someone not only turning the light switch on, but adding what else they need to do that fits what they are and what their talents are, or what's like the vibe I'm getting from them.
Yeah, some people definitely, they need that coaching. They need that guidance, and it's good that they learn from somebody as experienced as you, So definitely, like, how often do you do these challenges for,
I do a challenge every 8 weeks.
Every 8 weeks, wow.
How about the event that's coming up? Just tell us a little bit about that one.
So I'm having my very first conference, the Comeback Conference, on March 1st, my birthday. Whoop, whoop. With just me sharing my story from my relationship and getting the outpour on that, with, people in business think that when they have problems that something's wrong. And I'm like, baby, this is just business. Like, you're on track. Great. You had a loss today. Congratulations. Like, you're trying, you're in business. Great job. Yeah. Now you know what not to do, right? And so I wanted to kind of have a conference where I show people, how to turn your setbacks into comebacks. So you're not just stuck, right? But I'm going to bring some of my business besties on to share from like their walks of life. So I have a person coming in talking about dealing with a death of a child, having a criminal history and being legit, starting from poverty and getting your business going, how the couples work. So I want to have like different types of calamities or struggles that people have overcome besides just my little story, so that everyone, when you come here, you kind of be recharged, but get some tips and tools as to how do you navigate life. Because in life, it's ups and downs. So that's March 1st in Atlanta, Georgia.
What's the website?
Oh, you have to go to my Instagram page, Joi Hunt _ESQ, and it's on my link.
Okay. All right, cool.
It sounds like it's gonna be great.
Yeah.
How many seats is available?
I'm starting with just 75. Just see what's going on. I want to keep it nice and intimate.
Okay.
I feel like you would max out much more.
Yeah.
I just feel like you would.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
But it sounds like it's gonna be a huge success. And it's definitely a lot of women who have incredible stories.
I have women and men. I have some male business
and men
besties.
too, yeah.
Really?
I'm about 50-50, but here, you want to hear something funny? I have a large jail following. And this is what I love. You're gonna be like, jail? I have done consultations with people in jail trying to get their business structure. Okay, so I got this. And I'm like
they're incarcerated.
Like they're incarcerated.
Wow.
in jail, working about their structure, trying to, get everything lined up. Of course, they have someone on the outside, and they want to know, okay, so what's next in funding? I'd be like, to me, like, that is just like, you are the bomb.com. Like, you could have easily been like, I'm giving up, I'm incarcerated. But it's like, you are really trying to get this business together behind bars, and they got people that are out here
exactly.
ain't doing a thing. Like, it's just like, what? So I was like, baby, whenever you get out, you about to hit big because the hustle's already in you. The knowledge is already in you. But I'm having men and women because I want to, although I talk about my story, I don't want to be just known as, you know what I'm saying, the girl who I'm trying to kill. Like, I'm more than that. So I want to make it bigger to how do you overcome setbacks in life? Because sometimes in business, you take 2-3 losses. Now your self-confidence is down and maybe it's not meant for me. And, I want to make sure, baby, you're going to be good. So wherever you're going through in life and you leave the comeback conference, you're going to be revived, fired up, and ready to take over the world.
That's definitely a God-given conference for sure. Absolutely. Because I had some moments in business where it almost took me out, but it's a part of it,
Right.
So it's definitely a part of it. It's a part of your journey. It's a part of where you're going. It's a part of the story that you'll be able to tell someday, So I think this is going to be a good one. Well, I think we probably passed like 2 hours. I ain't gonna lie, but I actually enjoyed this one. So, what's some of the things that you would leave them with, like, to people? Or actually, before I even say that, you have any other questions, bro?
This one was great, bro. Like, honestly, like I sat here and I learned a lot. Heard your incredible story, and then also just it's so much things in business, just in general that that I sat here and I learned myself. Especially on the side of the grants. You broke down the filing bankruptcy, so I feel like a lot of people are gonna learn a lot from this, like, genuinely.
I
know
agree.
what I mean?
I'm more inspired by the mindset, like literally, from like a boss lady for real, I'm definitely inspired by your story, where you're going, where you came from, and like just being able to show up, and not being embarrassed, I would say, just understand like that was a part of your journey, and now you're on to, like you said, God puts you in different situations, so now you're doing better things. So definitely, I'm glad that you was able to join us for sure.
Yeah.
Take the trip from Florida. From Florida is how they say it. From Florida up to New York. To bless motion and success. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you guys for having me.
Absolutely. Any other final things that you want to share before we close?
It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So always bet on yourself and finish strong.
That's that. How can the people find you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Joi Hunt, JOIHUNT_ESQ.
Okay. All right, cool.
And Joi, would you be coming back to New York, or is
Of course, I like
do you
y'all.
like New York?
I don't like New York.
You don't like
I don't.
You trying to trigger her, huh?
I'm not a fan of New York. It's just too much going on. It's just too much.
Man.
And it's cold.
Yeah, it's freezing. It's freezing down here. But we definitely appreciate you for showing up, like coming out here to New York, doing the podcast. And I'm pretty sure a lot of lives are going to be impacted. So I'm excited about it. Yeah. So thank you again, Joi.
No problem.
And this was a good one, bro.
It's safe to say this is one of the top ones for sure as well.
Yeah,
it's a good one.
Safe to say.
It's a good one.
Yeah. All right, cool, y'all. So this was Motion and Success. Thank you guys for tuning in. Peace.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, yeah, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And tap in with Joi. Make sure you guys tap in with us as well.
Yeah, we're gonna leave all the descriptions we're gonna leave all the links in the description below.
Yes,
so
sir.
Tap it. And yeah, see you on the next one.
Absolutely. All right, so here's a quick announcement before I have our guests introduce themselves. A lot of people that are watching this channel is more than likely small business owners, entrepreneurs,
people that are looking to change their lives and make a lot of money for themselves. So now, one thing that I realize is there's stats out there proving that a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of business owners fail because they have lack of capital. So what I decided to do was I thought it was only right that I start having free classes every single Monday on our YouTube channel on the Motion and Success page every single Monday at 7 p.m. live in direct, where you'd be able to have your questions answered live. And this is literally a breakdown showing you exactly of how you can get funding for your small business. So if you're looking for business credit cards, business loans, business lines of credit, any kinds of funding, this is the live that you want to tune into. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel and put it on your calendar. Every Monday at 7 p.m. we are going live showing you step by step about exactly how to get funding for your small business. See you guys on Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.